Welcome back, everybody. Well, the hits just keep coming for the embattled IRS. The Justice Department's investigation into the agency's targeting of conservative groups continues, but one lawmaker says the time has come to appoint a special counsel. Joining us now, Congressman Trey Gowdy, Republican from South Carolina. Welcome. Great to have you here today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk for a moment about what's going on. There has been a lot of concern and criticism over the fact that so little has been done since the Inspector General's report that concluded that the IRS had improperly targeted conservatives, Tea Party, pro-Israelis, and pro-life groups. Why do you think that it has been allowed to go on like this so long?
Well, I don't know. I'm not on the inside of the Department of Justice, but at a minimum, the Attorney General ought to come before Congress and explain to us exactly what's going on. It may be that he's interviewed lots and lots of witnesses and we don't know about it. The media reports are that they've already concluded there's no criminal conduct. They haven't interviewed all the witnesses, and the prosecutor that they picked to head this investigation has a long, rich history of donating to Democrat causes. So that does not inspire confidence in any of us. So at a minimum, he needs to explain to us what's going on, and I would like him to explain why he doesn't think this case is appropriate for a special counsel, because the statute certainly seems to fit to me.
Well, the attorney you're referring to is Barbara Bosserman, who's been a Justice Department attorney and contributed to President Obama's campaign. She's leading the probe on the targeting of advocacy groups. Lots of folks say her impact just won't have any credibility.
Yeah, and that's my fear. I don't know Ms. Bosserman, and Uma, she may be a wonderful prosecutor. I'm sure she is. But people have to have confidence in the process every bit as much as the result. And when you have a federal prosecutor, and look, I used to be one, so I know what they make. So when you're donating $6,000 in an election cycle to a political candidate, most prosecutors don't make that much money, and the ones I know that do are too smart to give it to politicians. At a minimum, we have to have confidence in the process, because this investigation goes to the heart of who we are as a people, that government can target you based on your political beliefs. So even if she does a great job, what difference does it make if nobody has confidence in her objectivity?
It does seem that the White House doesn't seem particularly concerned about the issues that have been raised about the targeting of these various groups. And speaking to that on a separate issue, what about the way the president is saying to members of Congress that if you don't go along with me on issues that I support, I'm just going to go around you and issue executive orders?
You know, Uma, I sat with Tim Scott during the State of the Union, and at one point I had to whisper to him, gosh, things sure are bad. I wonder who's been in charge for the last half a decade. He's been the president for 5 years. He's had that same pen and that same phone for the last 5 years. Our economy is anemic. Our foreign policy is feckless. And so rather than accept responsibility, he wants to blame House Republicans and blame Congress. It's probably a smart political strategy, but it's really bad if you're a constitutional republic.
Where do you think it goes from here then? Where do you think this probe is headed?
The IRS probe?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to encourage Jimmy Jordan and Darrell Issa to have the Attorney General come explain to us in detail why the special counsel statute isn't being invoked. And secondarily, I don't want to jeopardize an ongoing investigation. I have no interest in that. But at a minimum, in a classified setting, come tell members of both sides of the aisle what you're doing. You've had about 6 months. Tell us who you've interviewed and where you think this investigation is going, because it's really important to the people we represent that they be able to trust the government's not targeting them because of their political beliefs.
Trey Gowdy, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good weekend.
You too.